Good morning, Covenant Family Academy. This is Wednesday morning, and it is time to continue our story of Yalta the Yak. Say, yak reads, ya, ya, ya. Say it again. Yak reads, ya, ya, ya. The uppercase Y, the lowercase y reads, ya, ya, ya. So let's continue our story of Yalta the Yak. Yalta Yak was thinking about his family. Yalta Yak knew that God wants older yaks to teach younger yaks. God wants younger yaks to help care for big yaks as they grow older too. Yalta Yak was happy to be in the middle of his family. Yalta Yak was glad to help his older grandpa and grandma whenever they needed him. Yalta knew that when he grew up, he would be able to help his family even more. One afternoon, Grandpa Yak read in the Yakety Yak News that a big snowstorm was soon going to come down into the high mountains of Tibet. Oh, remember? Grandpa was reading in the Yakety Yak News about the big snowstorm coming. "Yowie!" said Yalta Yak. "We had better get ready." "Yes, yes, yes, yes," agreed all the yaks. Everyone began to yakety yak, talk at the same time. Yak, yak, yakety yak, talk, talk. Even the little yellow dog was adding to the noise. He was yipping and yapping and running around the excited yaks. "Just a minute, all you yakking yaks," laughed Grandpa Yak. "We are all trying to yak at the same time. Let's take turns talking. Remember not to interrupt when someone else is talking. Grandma Yak, you begin." "Ladies first," smiled Grandpa Yak. "Well, I think we must be sure we have enough food in the house to last through the storm," said Grandma Yak. And little Yimmy Yak's eyes sparkled. "I like to count. I will help you count the food in our cabinets, Grandma Yak. I will count the yams, egg yolks, yeast breads, yellow cheeses, and yummy yogurts." Then Yvonne Yak spoke helpfully too. "I will put on an extra warm blanket on each of our beds." "Grandpa Yak," asked Yalta Yak, "may I do something to help get ready for the storm too?" "Well, yes, you certainly may help, Yalta Yak," said Grandpa Yak. "We will need plenty of wood for the fireplace to help keep us warm during the storm. Have you noticed that our wood pile is getting very small? We will need to get more wood before the storm comes. First thing in the morning, we will take our yellow sleigh cart down into the valley where the trees grow. I surely will need your help, Yalta Yak." Yalta Yak gave Grandpa Yak a big hug. "I know it is harder for you to pull heavy loads. You're not young anymore, Grandpa Yak. I will gladly use my young muscles to help bring the wood up the mountainside." "Oh, yes, Yalta Yak," said Grandma Yak lovingly. "I can hardly believe you are already big enough to help Grandpa Yak with such a big job. You must get to bed early tonight so that you will be well rested to help Grandpa Yak bring the wood up the mountainside tomorrow." Grandpa Yak and Yalta Yak awakened early the next morning. After a good hot breakfast, Grandpa Yak and Yalta Yak were ready for their trip down into the valley. "Be sure to bundle up," smiled Grandma Yak as she handed Grandpa Yak and Yalta Yak their shaggy coats and extra yak hair sweaters to put around their shoulders. "Here are your yarn yak caps too," said Grandma Yak as she tucked Yalta Yak's long curvy horns carefully through the special horn holes in his yarn yak cap. Here they are. Grandpa Yak, Yalta Yak, pulling their sleigh cart. See Grandpa Yak's cane and Yalta's yellow yarn scarf, his yellow knit cap. They're going down the mountain in the snow. As they went outside to get the yellow sleigh cart, Grandpa Yak put his arm around Yalta Yak's shoulders. "If we do our work quickly, we may have time to play, Yalta Yak," said Grandpa Yak. "We may have time to go ice skating before we come back up the mountainside." "Oh, that would be super," said Yalta Yak as he yanked the yellow sleigh cart onto the snowy path. Yalta Yak yacked happily as they walked along together. Grandpa Yak and Yalta Yak enjoyed hearing young Yalta Yak yak. My, Yalta Yak," Grandpa Yak said at last. "You youngsters surely do yak and talk a lot." Yes, we do," agreed Yalta Yak. "But we are learning in school about when to talk and when not to talk, Grandpa Yak." "Oh, yes?" chuckled Grandpa Yak. Grandpa Yak's shaggy eyebrows raised up almost to his horns. Well, please tell me about it, Yalta Yak." "You should not yak in church or in school," began Yalta Yak. "You should not yak when someone else is talking or sleeping." Grandpa Yak nodded and said, "You will be a happier yak if you know when to yak and when not to yak." Suddenly, Grandpa Yak jumped off the snowy path and gave a happy yow-wee! Yow-wee! "This is fun," Grandpa Yak yelled to Yalta Yak. "This is a fun, fast way to get down into the valley. Climb into the yellow sleigh cart, Yalta Yak. Use the yellow sleigh cart as a sled. Slide right down the mountainside." "Here I come," yelled Yalta Yak back to Grandpa Yak. Yalta Yak slid right down the mountainside in the yellow sleigh cart. Yippee! At the bottom of the mountain, Yalta Yak and Grandpa Yak went to work. Before long, Grandpa Yak and Yalta Yak had loaded the yellow sleigh cart with wood. "We did our work very quickly, Yalta Yak," said Grandpa Yak. "So, let's go to the ice skating pond over yonder." That's another word for there. Say yonder with me. Everybody say yonder. Yonder means there. So Grandpa Yak said, "We may ice skate for a while and still get our wood home before the snowstorm comes." So they slid down the hill, they've got all their wood, and now they're going ice skating. There's Yalta Yak and Grandpa Yak ice skating on the ice. When Grandpa Yak and Yalta Yak got to the frozen pond, Grandpa Yak whacked the ice with his cane. Grandpa Yak wanted to make sure the ice was thick and strong enough for ice skating. Soon, Grandpa Yak and Yalta Yak were skating happily over the ice. "Ice skating is fun!" squealed Yalta Yak. Grandpa Yak taught Yalta Yak some new ways to skate. God expects older ones to teach younger ones, you know. Yalta Yak saw that Grandpa Yak was getting tired. Yalta Yak helped Grandpa Yak to a resting place beside the icy pond. God wants younger, stronger ones to care for the older, weaker ones, you know. Just then, Grandpa Yak felt something cold and wet on his black nose. Grandpa Yak looked up in surprise. "Yalta Yak, it is beginning to snow now!" "Yalta Yak, the big snowstorm is going to come today," said Grandpa Yak in surprise. "We must not skate any longer. We must hook and yoke you to the yellow sleigh cart, Yalta Yak. We must get our wood home now before the snow gets deep." "Yow-wee!" said Yalta Yak, yanking on the yellow sleigh cart. "Do you think we can make it home in time?" What do you think? Do you think they can make it home in time? We'll have to find out tomorrow. That finishes today's story on Yalta Yak. Say yak reads y, y, y. Say that with me. Yak reads y, y, y. Uppercase Y, lowercase y. Great job of listening, my friends.